Have you ever considered what it's like to immerse yourself in a sound bath? Well, today I have you covered. Join me as I invite a special guest to dive into the unique experience of a sound bath and spill all the details on the Afterbath. Welcome to the Afterbath, where we explore unique experiences and wellness practices. I'm your host, Matt. Today we have a special episode where we'll be diving into the world of sound baths. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be immersed in soothing sound waves, you're in for a treat. Today we're joining Trish as she immerses herself in her 5th of 6 back-to-back sound baths, a powerful step on her path towards inner bliss. After a week of striving to stay present, she's feeling the pull of daily drama and is hoping the Tibetan singing bowls can help her to stay focused and calm. Will the soothing vibrations of the sound bath help her to stay centered, or is she in for another dose of life's twists and turns? Let's keep watching to find out. Welcome back, Trish.
Thank you.
So this is your 5th sound bath.
Yes, it is.
Wow, it's gone fast.
It has. It has.
Amazing.
Been a good journey though.
Yeah. So last week up until now, I know we did some extra things at the end of the last sound bath. And I'm just curious to see what's happening for you now.
I'm feeling very relaxed.
Great.
Throughout the week.
Yeah.
Like I said, these sound baths for me have been sort of presented differently every single time.
Yeah.
But for me, they're more like a relaxation, a gift to myself.
Yeah, great.
And so they serve as a reminder during the week to just stay focused on the important stuff. So just on the internal and quieting the mind, not so much chatter. Don't look at the outside world and let that all in and let it upset me and things like that. So just to stay focused. And so that's where I'm really grateful to these sessions for that.
Great.
Yeah.
And tell me, how do you do that? And how do you know what to stay focused on? What's important to stay focused on for you?
Basically just the love inside.
Yeah.
Just the internal. So don't sort of over put importance on everything else out around me. And so when I'm in the sound bath, I try to really sort of stay on the sound and the and the joy that brings. Yeah. And so during the week, I know it sounds probably a bit kind of, I don't know, cheesy, but that's the truth. And so during the week, I'm always reminded of when I'm in that state of, it's really relaxing. It's really nice. Feeling the love inside, and again, treating myself or treating my external mind body as my best friend. Yeah.
Yep. And do you feel that you need to cultivate love, or do you think it's already there and it's already full? It's just that you need to tap into it.
Correct. It's already there. It's all there.
Got it.
The whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Don't need to add anything because it's just perfection inside.
Yeah.
And it's just the outside world that sort of has made you think that, you've got to work on this or work on that, but it's all there. And then none of that matters. None of that is really important. What's important is inside, the internal, and
And how do you personally connect to it? I mean, you don't have to go into detail about it, but because pre any of this for me, if someone said go inside, I guess I would probably sit down and meditate, but I probably still wouldn't quite understand how you're supposed to go inside. How is it that you go inside?
I just think of it in terms of I'm not a body.
Yeah.
The body is just the vehicle.
Yeah.
And so it's just the emotion rather than...
Oh, got it.
So it's just an emotion. It's just like a deep blissful sort of state where you're just sort of like floating on it. Everyone's got something different, but for me it's like floating on clouds, or you know, there's not a body and there's not a, you know, I'm in no time or space. I'm nowhere. I'm just inside. Just I don't know. It's just a bubble or something. Like I can't describe it. It's just a light.
Got it. Yeah. It is difficult to describe, isn't it? It's difficult to describe. I guess the way I connect to it is that the same in terms of it's a feeling. It's not a thought. So if I sit still and I just feel whatever's coming up for me, that's how I connect to it.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's not like I'm putting words to it. It's almost like there's like a whole book of words, but no need to be spoken, so no need to think about them. It's there. So everything that you think is just perfect and beautiful and lovely is just there, but you don't have to put words to it, because the second you put words to it, then that's where the mind comes into it, and then it reminds you of something you have to do, or something someone said, or something like that. So it's just like I try and stay just on that bubble inside, that kind of like floating.
Great. And did you have any epiphanies during the week, or anything that you kind of thought, that was really interesting? And you don't have to, but
no, I guess there was a few questions that came up in my head, and I'm not sure whether I can recall them now, but there was something that I was sort of thinking about, you know, like the world that we're living in, it just makes it so hard to stay focused on the internal, because there's so much of what we do is almost, can I say, unnecessary. We just do them because that's part of our lives. We're human, but it's so hard to stay focused because there's so many issues that come up and so many kind of decisions that we have to make. And you know, like, am I being mean, or am I being like, do I have to feel guilty for this? Or like, you know, if something comes up like I don't know, donation or this or that, and it's like, am I being mean because I'm saying no, I don't want to donate to that? Or do I sort of go, well, that's not really, it's not the path that I'm on right now, so, you know, like, no, like that's not the position I'm in now. So that kind of thing. So there's a few kind of things that sometimes you go, does that make me a bad person? Or or am I still good inside? So that's a big question that sometimes I battle with, because I think you want to, I mean, you are a good person. Well, we are all good people, but it's the external that sort of makes you think, do I have to feel guilty about this? Or
And have you worked out an answer for yourself?
No, I haven't. It's really hard. It's really hard to overcome that kind of, you know, like it's a mini guilt. It's a mini guilt there, because it's like, what does that make me, kind of thing.
Got it. Got it. Do you want an answer?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Do you want me to give you my answer?
Yes, I'd love to hear your answer. It's a good point of conversation.
So, the interesting thing of guilt implies that there was a moment in time where you felt like you did something wrong. And doing something right or wrong is still, you know, two sides of the same coin. You know, if you feel that you're a bad person or a good person, you're still playing the game of being a person. And if you feel like I'm a right person or a wrong person, that's still two sides of the same coin. You're still playing the same game. So it's essentially, you're on this roller coaster of going up and down. I want to be happy, I don't want to be sad. But you're still on the roller coaster. regardless of whatever happens, you're definitely going to go up and you're definitely going to go down, because that's the nature of existence. Yeah, it's forever changing. Do you need to feel bad that the last time you went down on the roller coaster, that you should remember that? No, probably not, because you're still on the roller coaster and you're still to experience ups and downs. However, you can go beyond the roller coaster and just put the whole game of good and bad down and stop thinking about it. That doesn't mean that you're avoiding it. That just simply means that I can see my mind is playing a game with me, and that is the game of guilt and shame versus feeling good about myself. So it's this funny entanglement, I think, that we all get taught, and that is, be a good person, people will like you. Don't be a bad person, people won't like you. And I think most of us don't want to be lonely. And so we're trying to figure out, how do I get people to like me? Well, the crazy thing is simply that's not up to you to decide. You can be the best person in the world, but people still may not like you. That is just what it is. And so I know from time to time, the more blissful I get, then some people that really irritates them, because they're like, why do you feel so good when I feel so rotten? And that's really unfair. And so sometimes it's easier to be irritated around people, because then at least they go, I don't feel so lonely.
Yeah.
But that's not helping them at all.
No.
That's all you're doing is supporting them by saying, you know what, you're irritated, I'm irritated too, let's be irritated together. I think if one of us had found a way out of the irritation, then it wouldn't take too much convincing of the other person to say, hey, would you like a way out too? Yeah. So at least I know in the past there's been things that I've done that I really regret doing, and I really wish I hadn't done them. However, hanging on to that awful feeling is going to make me terribly confused, and it means that it's going to destroy my ability to think clearly in the present moment. And really, I have a lot of things that I need to do in the present moment, and if I'm distracted by feeling guilty or shameful of the past, I'm going to make a real hash of things right now as well. And then it's very easy for me to be in tomorrow and go, boy, yesterday during the podcast, I shouldn't have felt so much shame when I was around Trish, because now I've got a terrible podcast.
Right.
And so it's never ending.
Never
ending. So at least now my way out of it is that if I feel shameful or guilty, I'll go, okay, great, this is a feeling. Why don't I just take away the words of it and just sit with the feeling? And so if there's a feeling of shame, I might blush, or I might get hot, or I squeamish, and I go, you know what, I'm going to connect to the feeling, but I just won't label it.
Right.
Because labeling it will make it, turn it into something that it is potentially not. Yeah. Potentially not. And there's so much about existence that we don't know. To simply label an emotion, this is what you're having, could possibly diminish your experience of the feeling.
Right.
So I give you an example of that. Let's say you're feeling happy. Now, happy is just a label for this feeling that you have, which is really indescribable. But if you just label it as happy, well, now you're boxing it, and you could have gone much higher. Yeah? maybe that happiness could have turned into bliss.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you've labelled it as happiness, you could almost go, oh, well, I'm a bit disappointed because I've only got happiness, I don't have bliss.
Mm.
But maybe if I hadn't have labelled it, it could have maybe easily have turned into something else, blissful. So, that's so often I think in myself when I get tired and I get irritable, I go, what's wrong with me? What's wrong? And I'll start looking for a reason, when it really might be all it is that I haven't eaten in a while. I haven't slept in a while. And maybe if I just did some self-care activities of lying down or having a drink or having something to eat and then resting and taking care of my body, that maybe the mental thoughts that are attached to what I'm feeling, it may be quite unnecessary.
I get that. I see that. Yeah. Because by labelling your irritation as irritated, then all of a sudden it just becomes that you're irritated and you don't go behind the irritation and figure out
what it is. Yeah. Or maybe what could I do to, don't worry about the guessing of what it is. Just work on what you can do about it now. Okay, so I'm irritated. It might have been because someone cut me off on the road. Oh, that's great. That happened, 10 minutes ago? You're still going on about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't worry about what happened on the road. Be more concerned with how you're feeling now.
Yeah.
And then connect with that. And then see what you can do. Maybe breathing, conscious breathing will help. Yeah. Maybe lying down and shutting your eyes and connecting to yourself. Yeah.
So that sort of is like I keep describing, sort of focus on the emotion rather than the chatter outside that emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. That constant mental labelling of
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because the mind is a never-ending thought machine.
Oh, absolutely.
If it doesn't dredge something up, it will create something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very easy to turn a memory into a panic attack or anxiety of, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Very nice. I like that.
No worries.
I like that very much. It's another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
But just for your everyday, things, not just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the everyday is the most important thing because that's all we got. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, at least how I used to see the world was that, every day is just the mundane, but then there must be something else. There must be a holiday, or there must be the weekend, or there must be a celebration.
Yes.
And then now you're really living.
Yes.
But that only happens once every year.
Correct.
So what are you going to do for the other, 360? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's like that saying that life is what's happening whilst you're busy making plans for the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, it doesn't mean that you live in a world of mundane.
No.
Because that's just when the mind gets dull. Yeah. We
So
don't want
true.
a dull mind.
No. You've given me a lot to think about.
Great.
Yeah. I came in here busy, because I've been doing things all morning, been running from here to there. And so I was really sort of wanting to come in and just see if I can really relax the mind and the body so I'm not fuzzing. So,
yes.
Yeah. That's giving me a good base and something to sort of calm.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. It is, when you've been running around hectic, it takes a little bit of time to decompress.
It sure does.
And I need to breathe.
That's it.
I haven't been breathing very well for the last however long.
So it's come at a perfect time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Oh, well, we should go have a sound bath.
Let's do it.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Trish.
No worries.
A sound bath is like a gentle, immersive retreat for your senses, an experience where sound becomes a balm for your body and mind. Imagine lying in a tranquil space surrounded by resonant tones of Tibetan singing bowls, gongs, chimes, and tuning forks, each vibration weaving around and within you. These soothing sounds do more than just fill the air. They sink in, sending ripples that ease away tension and invite deep relaxation. Each note encourages your mind and body to soften, let go, and enter a state of pure calm, free from the usual noise of to-do lists and worries. These soothing sound waves do more than just fill the air. They sink in, sending ripples that ease away tension and invite deep relaxation. Each note encourages your mind and body to soften, let go, and enter a state of pure calm, free from the usual noise of to-do lists and worries. A sound bath offers a chance to pause, breathe, and simply be. Whether you need a full reset or just a few moments of peace, it's a beautiful, uncomplicated way to rediscover a sense of balance and inner calm. Welcome back, Trish.
Thank you so much.
So here we are on our... Yeah, you can... Yep, that's it.
Jiggle it around a bit.
Jiggle it around, that's it. We're now after your bath.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how was it?
It was lovely.
Great.
I came in here a bit frizzy because I've been doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel leveled out.
Great.
So I feel kind of really relaxed.
Yeah.
But not quite so, in my head about the things that I've got to go off and do.
Yep. Got it.
Because I've got a bit of a busy sort of afternoon.
Busy afternoon. Yeah.
But it just feels like, it'll when I get there.
Yep.
Sort of in its own time. I don't feel like, I've got to do this. I've got to remember to do that, and that.
Yeah.
So it just feels like I'm leveled out. Kind of like press the reset button.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got to check something. Yep, that's recording.
Yeah.
I've given 2 sound baths today, so
Just got to check.
Yeah, you've got to check my head. That's great. So how do you feel that this afternoon's going to play out for you then?
It just, like I said, it'll just be what it'll be.
Yeah.
And I'll get to it as I get to it without, like fretting that I'm going to miss on something or,
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you did miss on something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do it next time.
You can do it. Yeah, great. And anything come up for you during the sound bath that you thought was interesting? Any epiphanies?
No epiphanies, but it felt I was really kind of in a deep, like I really tried from the beginning to get myself into that state where I was just feeling that internal rather than the external.
Yep.
And I tried to kind of, do that no place, no space, I'm nowhere, and kind of like step out of myself.
Yeah.
And sort of try and, like that inner world, try and sort of sit on the nice pink chair that you've got in there.
Oh, yeah.
Just sit there and watch myself.
Yeah.
And just feel that vibration through the body, and sort of, I've had a bit of a headache this week, I tried to sort of like wash it out kind of thing, and sort of watching myself wash it out.
Got it.
Yeah.
What was that like? That
it was beautiful. It was really nice. It was just like, we take ourselves far too seriously. So I was trying to do that thing where I'm just like watching over me, saying, you're doing okay. Yeah. Nothing's a big deal.
Yeah.
whatever's to be will be.
Yeah.
You know, you're okay, you're doing fine, you're enough, that kind of thing. A bit of that self-love thing. So and every now and then I'd sort of go back into my body, and then so it wouldn't last a long time, but and sometimes, you know, like a louder noise would spark me out of it, kind of things, just startle me, and then I'd sort of settle back into it. And so I think that's why I've come out of it really sort of relaxed, but in a good way, not in a like sometimes I come out of it and I feel like almost hungover or something, spaced out, whereas I feel just settled.
That seems to be the general thing, that around about Soundbath 5 that you start to get just more clear. 4 seems to be some type of turning point. So that's kind of interesting. So you probably feel more awake?
I feel more awake, certainly more awake, not so deep into my to-do list sort of thing.
Got it. And now reflecting on Soundbaths from 1 up to 5 now, do you see a transition at all, or do you see it, you know, like, has anything changed since the first one to the 5th one?
Well, I just sort of like, it just feels like now, you know, during the sound baths, I just sort of try and be more aware of getting into that state. And look, from the beginning, I always saw the sound baths as a way of connecting more with my inner world. And I think, that hasn't changed.
That's good.
So they're sort of like, they're a big reminder for me during the week of, you know, because it's not always perfect. Obviously, we sort of like transition in and out and sort of, stuff that up, or, you know, back, you know. They always remind me, the sound baths are reminding me of that. That's inner world kind of thing. Good. It's not perfect, but we're human, so.
Absolutely. And from my experience, you know, that when you get pretty settled, sometimes a test comes around, you know, just to see where you are. And you'll think, I'm feeling pretty strong, and then all of a sudden the universe will go, that's good, here's a pop quiz.
Here's a test.
Just how you coping with this? We're going to give you a little bit more. And I think, for me, I feel that's a good thing, because I think most people want to grow. They want a bigger adventure in their life. You know, they want to expand. Some people just see it in terms of money. I want a bigger paycheck. But I think most people want to have a deeper experience of life, or maybe an adventure of some sort. And so in order to open up those areas of growth, you need to let the weaker areas to fall away, so you can take on a heavier experience. So, which is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Otherwise, you'll end up running around in the same circle for a very long time.
And not feeling any better for it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how many times you run around the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel's not going to get any better.
No. Or bigger, or more interesting.
It's still going to remain the same.
That's it.
So, anything else that's coming up for you that you kind of think is interesting?
Well, in terms of growth, I'm looking to be able to more quickly get myself into that space of everything's okay. You know, you're okay, and it's not that big a deal. Right? Instead of it pushing my buttons. And having like a big reaction to it, kind of thing.
Got it.
Just in terms of that, and just being more aware quicker. kind of thing. So that's what I'm working on.
Great.
Just being a little bit quicker to go, recognising it.
Yeah.
Sort of staying up ahead of it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and kind of like really using my powers that be to, you know, try and kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but kind of like send love forward, you know, send my good energy forward into things so that when I'm there, I've already opened up that space.
Got it.
Instead of doing it sort of unconsciously.
Yeah.
And getting there and going, I'm here, like now what kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trying to open up that space in the things that I do and people I meet and, you know, places I visit, whatever. Sort of try and do it more consciously, sort of being more aware. So that is what I'm working on.
Great. And do you have any tools that you find that are useful for that, or
sound baths are one of them?
Yeah, sound baths. Great.
Sound baths is one of them because they sort of remind you that, you know, well, they're reminding me that I need to stay present rather than looking to the future and sort of fearing what's going to happen or how it's going to work out. Like instead of fearing it, like I was saying, you open it up, you send good intentions forward. And so when you get there, you're like, you've already been there. You've already kind of like versed.
Got it. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, for today.
Yep. Great.
I'm really grateful for the experience today because, like I said, I did come in a bit frazzled. But I leave relaxed.
That's good. That's what we want. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming along for today's sound bath, Trish.
Thank you.
And we look forward to your final sound bath.
One.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Happy travels till then.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trish.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a fascinating exploration of sound baths. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Join us again next week as Trish concludes her sound bath journey with her final sound bath. Until next time, stay well and keep exploring new experiences.